I do want to take you out to this live image that we do have over the White House at this hour as we get into your top stories. President Trump saying that he has no desire to speak with his one-time friend Elon Musk anytime soon, adding that he's, quote, not even thinking about Elon right now. Fox News reporting Trump will either sell the Tesla that was given to him a few months back by the billionaire or might even just give it away. Multiple media outlets reported Friday that the two were expected to speak over the phone one day after the escalation on social media. However, that chat did not appear to happen. And again, President Trump saying aboard Air Force One that he just doesn't care.
What's your view on Elon Musk as of today? I mean, have you heard from him at all as your team?
Honestly, I've been so busy working on China, working on Russia, working on Iran, working on so many. I'm not thinking about Elon. You know, I just wish him well.
And by the way, we know that trade talks with China are expected to take place on Monday. He kind of touched on that a little bit. Now, the back and forth on Thursday started in regards to President Trump's so-called Big Beautiful Bill, which Musk had called a, quote, disgusting abomination, but it escalated quickly from there. It included Musk's claims that without him, quote, Trump would have lost the election, and that the files related to sex abuser Jeffrey Epstein were, quote, not released because Trump is mentioned in them. Now, President Trump then took to his own social media platform, Truth Social, saying in part, quote, I don't mind Elon turning against me, but he should have done so months ago. In case you didn't know, Musk did serve as the head of DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency, until just about a week ago. Want to talk about all of this, so let's bring in Dr. Kenneth Manning, professor and chair in the Department of Political Science at the University of Massachusetts at Dartmouth. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us today.
Good morning, Josh. Good to be with you.
Thank you so much. And first off, I do want to ask you overall, because initially those reports did start to surface that it appeared that President Trump and Elon Musk were going to talk over the phone Friday, one day after all of this played out very publicly. However, you then heard from President Donald Trump saying he just doesn't have time for it right now. What do you make of all of that and the political implications?
Yeah, I think President Trump knows the situation, which is really that, you know, he has, at this point, President Trump has nothing to gain from this spat going on. He ultimately prevails over Elon Musk, and what I heard in those comments was, you know, I'm over you, and I think that's probably right. There's no reason for Trump to kind of stir the pot here.
Following Elon Musk's public kind of back and forth there with President Trump, Tesla actually saw a very dramatic $150 billion drop in its market value. How should we interpret the market reaction in the context of political influence, investor sentiment, how folks really feel about all of this?
Yeah, and of course, you don't want to read too much into stock results because, of course, there's all sorts of factors that go into the pricing of a stock. Look, that's bad news, right? And the market's reacted appropriately. And you step back in the big picture, and this is a battle that Elon Musk, I think, inevitably loses. If Republicans are forced to choose sides between Donald Trump and Elon Musk, they're going to choose Donald Trump. And of course, Musk has burned bridges with Democrats by his slash and burn tactics with DOGE, his flirtations with fascism. I mean, he's finished as far as liberals go in the United States, and now he's and alienate himself from Republicans in the Trump White House. I mean, I think this is just any way you look at it, it's a net loser for Elon Musk. And I think the stock price in some ways reflected that. Now, that said, Tesla's been a meme stock for quite some time, and it doesn't respond to market pressures the way that many other stocks do. But again, you just look at the situation, and I don't see how Elon Musk really ultimately is a net winner here.
One thing that's interesting is we did see a lot of this play out on social media. In fact, I would say most of it. You have Elon Musk, who has X, and that's where he was posting everything. You have President Trump, who is in charge there of Truth Social. That's where he posted. What does that make of modern political communications there when you talk about social media and how things get out there and politicians, presidents, billionaires kind of all respond in a matter of seconds.
Yeah, and in fact, I think what you said is just right. A matter of seconds, and it's through that all those online postings that you have that ping pong volley of comments and criticisms, and it's the nature of social media that allows for that instantaneous back and forth. That doesn't supplant traditional media, television, newspapers, etc., but it's obviously a key factor. It's an additional factor, and it's the most instantaneous way that we have now in which the political discourse occurs. It just really shows the importance and prominence of social media to the political discourse in the United States.
And of course, as we mentioned, you are the professor and chair in the Department of Political Science at the University of Massachusetts at Dartmouth. So I do want to get your take on this. One thing that Elon Musk did say on X as all of this was developing, he did say that without him, President Trump would not have won the election. What do you say about that?
Yeah, well, that may be a bit of a stretch. I don't think there's any question that Elon Musk certainly helped Donald Trump. And let's step back. You know, Elon Musk's reputation has really taken a big hit in the last few months, certainly among Democrats. You know, a year ago or so, he was viewed as this, genius tech innovator. And today, his reputation, like I said, is taking a turn for the worse. To have that kind of new economy person backing you, very famous. I mean that definitely helped Trump. There's no question about it. Now, did that supplant the fundamentals in the race? I don't think so. Joe Biden was an unpopular incumbent. Kamala Harris had problems, connecting with a large number of voters. There's a number of factors obviously going on, concerns about inflation, the economy, et cetera. All those things separate from the whole Elon Musk soap opera were important factors. And indeed, they're really the fundamental factors in terms of the election in 24. But there's no question, I think, that having Elon Musk at the time did help Donald Trump. Can you say that he, is the reason why Trump won? Yeah, I don't think I'd buy that. But it certainly helped. It was a tailwind, and of course that now seems to have all blown up as a result of this friendship gone awry.
And when you talk about this spat and this feud that Elon Musk, of course, added flames to the fire on Thursday as all of this played out, does it appear that maybe Elon Musk is trying to get more involved in politics? Because he's also mentioned a lot over the last 24, 48 hours that there should be another party there rather than just the Democrats and Republicans as far as major parties go. Do you think he's trying to get more politically active and this is a way of doing that?
Oh, maybe. Let's step back for a moment. Elon Musk has, frankly, been an erratic individual for quite some time. His behavior here is erratic. It's not inconsistent with the way he's been for years now. Will he dabble more in politics? Perhaps. I certainly could see that. Third party, boy, what a way to make me laugh. There's been an endless number of people who call for a third party in the United States. They're all gone. There's no third party in the United States to compete against the Democrats and Republicans. And this is really due to structural reasons. The nature of our political system is outlined in the U.S. Constitution and codified in federal law. There's not going to be any third party. Certainly, Elon Musk isn't going to create a third party. Will he dabble more in politics? Perhaps. At the same time, though, of course, he leads a number of businesses. Tesla, obviously, the biggest. And the reality is, of course, if he's going to be CEO, those are really important jobs that take up a lot of time. So it's hard for me to see how he's going to be an effective CEO and also, be effective in dabbling in politics. It just doesn't add up.
Do you think that any of this, as you look just a little bit deeper into it and you have the feud going on between President Trump and Elon Musk, is that creating any sort of divide between President Trump and maybe those in the tech industry, those who are billionaires, anyone that may support Elon Musk?
Oh, maybe behind the scenes. Look, there's no question that if you ask, Republicans on Capitol Hill, business leaders, tech industry leaders, that they don't hold Donald Trump in high regard. But they're not going to say that publicly. Are they going to take Elon Musk's side? Well, some of them certainly would. Again, he's a tech innovator and obviously has done a lot in the tech industry. but no one's going to publicly back Elon Musk over Donald Trump and risk incurring the wrath of the Trump administration. So I don't see this really being any type of springboard for Musk becoming a champion of Silicon Valley, and you're going to have all these tech industry leaders lining up with Elon Musk against the Trump administration. These are pretty smart folks, and they can read the political winds. And they're not blowing in Elon Musk's direction at this point. So I don't see this resulting in any benefit for Musk in the in the tech industry.
All right. Dr. Kenneth Manning, thank you so much for taking the time to join us here and help break it down. Anything else you want to add about any of this before I let you go?
Sure. When I look at this feud, and, there's a lot of stories about it, everybody's saying in some ways it was inevitable. I sort of agree with that. At the same time, you've got two very wealthy, big personality, frankly, arrogant people going up against each other, both of them very erratic in that way. And so one of the things that's kind of remarkable is there's a lot of similarities between Elon Musk and Donald Trump. And I think, of course, that led to the initial friendship and cooperative relationship that they had. And I wouldn't put it out of the realm of possibility that these guys somehow, quote unquote, kiss and make up. Donald Trump is one who makes U-turns all the time. Elon Musk is erratic. They could restart the bromance again. And so I wouldn't rule that possibility out. These are two very unusual individuals, and never say never, as the old cliche goes. And I wouldn't say that these guys never get back together again.
All right. Kenneth, thank you so much for taking the time to join us here and provide some perspective. We appreciate it.
Good to be with you.